Hey everyone, Mike Sears here again, and welcome back to Human Unabridged. Thanks to all of you who have subscribed to my channel, all 11 of you. It's a start, and I'm very grateful. And thank you for liking my videos. Please, those of you who haven't subscribed or liked my videos, please do so. And I hope you guys will stay with me on this journey and enjoy the content that's going to keep on coming. Today, we're going to talk about personal security again, and we're going to take a deep dive into awareness and specifically a concept called situational awareness. Okay, situational awareness essentially is being aware of what's happening within your environment. Okay, and having the perception or perceiving things in that environment that could be potentially hazardous. Okay, and having an idea as to what you're going to do about those things within your environment that could be potentially harmful or even potentially advantageous. Because if you are situation aware or situationally aware, it means you understand yourself in the context and in relation to what's going on in your environment, and you have an idea of the next step forward that will produce the best outcome for you within that situation. Okay, that is situational awareness. Please remember that being aware in your environment and having situational awareness or practicing situational awareness doesn't only apply to violent crime and criminality and human threats within our environment. It also applies to any environment that you may find yourself in. For example, if you are a production worker or a manufacturer or somebody that works with machinery or mass production equipment or anything in a factory setting, could even be dangerous chemicals, any environment where you find that there may be risks or health and safety hazards, it's important to be situationally aware about that as well. Okay, wherever you find yourself, situational awareness will always give you the upper hand. Okay, it's also important if you're a construction worker and you work on building sites. Okay, you have to have situational awareness. If you don't have the situational awareness, you might fall down the hole that you haven't seen and nobody else has because it was newly created the day before and you haven't been on site. Your last shift was a couple of days before that. So having situational awareness will help you in varying situations to ensure that you maintain your safety and your physical integrity, and you allow safety and protection for those people around you. Okay, so let's carry on with situational awareness. One of the most important tools that we've been given to practice situational awareness is a concept that was designed by a gentleman called Colonel John Boyd, a colonel in the United States Air Force, and also a military strategist. He was an incredibly successful trainer, and he used to train fighter pilots, and he used to use what we are going to practice today, which is the OODA loop. That is OODA, OODA loop. Sounds potentially like a contraceptive. No, it isn't. Don't worry, honey. I've got the OODA loop. It's going to be fine. That was a stupid joke. The OODA loop is actually a process you follow in order to ensure that you get the best outcome in a stressful situation. Okay, and it's a very simple process. Each of the letters in the name applies to something that you have to do. It's basically an instruction. And the first instruction in the OODA loop is O for observe. Okay, we've spoken about observation, and really observation comes down to what? Awareness. Okay, using your five senses. Applying your five senses in an active way to the environment that you find yourself in. Observe. Know what is going on around you. Do not be surprised by things that you haven't observed. So use observation. Number one. The second part of the OODA loop, O for orient. Orient means identify where you are in relation to everything else and whether or not where you are is strategically and tactically the right position to be in. Identify where you are in relation to those things that are threatening to you. Identify where you are in relation to potential escape routes. Identify where you are in relation to bullet defeating cover. okay, and into protective mechanisms and suitable guardians, security officers, police officers, people that you know can support you. That is the process of orienting. Okay, it's understanding your location, its proximity to other important factors within your environment, okay, and determining where those factors are so that you can make the most of them. That is orienting, okay. The next part of the OODA loop is D for decide. That's our next instruction is to decide, okay. Decide, what are you going to do now with the information that you've received? And should something take place, should an event take place, should you identify a suspect in your observational process and in your orientation process, realize that that suspect is too close or within a dangerous proximity, okay? What decision are you going to take to alleviate that risk, okay, to mitigate that risk, to protect yourself against the potential of an attack? That is the decision-making process, and that is what D stands for, decide. Finally, once you've made that decision, what's next? What do you have to do? You have to act, okay? And A is for act. Act means do something now. Do something and continue to do that thing, all right, until you have achieved the goal or the outcome that you wanted, which is a favorable one, all right? And remember, what's clear in the name, the OODA loop, is it's a circular process, okay? It's a cycle. It is not a structural or linear thing that goes 1, 2, 3, 4 and then ends. It's a continuing cycle of observe, orient, decide, act. Observe, orient, decide, act. And sometimes you're going to jump back into that loop somewhere else, like on the decision aspect or the action aspect, because potentially your first decision and action doesn't bring you to your favorable outcome or where you want it to be. It doesn't create the outcome that you are hoping for. So then what have you got to do? You've got to again, all right, what now? I'm still in harm's way. I'm in the middle of traffic. There's hazardous material in front of me. Okay, there's people that are potentially dangerous to me, and I'm still not in a favorable position. I'm still not safe, and the people that I am looking after are still not safe. So now I go through the cycle again until I achieve the outcome that I require. All right, and that's why it's a loop. You continue through the OODA loop process until you've achieved the outcome that you desire. All right. Remember, being situationally aware is also an important understanding of what is going on around you and how can you position yourself to make sure that if something that hasn't happened yet but potentially may happen occurs, you will likely be in the best position possible at the time. Very simple example of this is if you're going out to eat dinner with your friends or family or meeting people out to eat or have a celebration or what have you, when you're going to the venue is to place yourself in a position where you can see the entrance clearly, you can see who's coming in and out of the venue. You can also move towards an emergency exit or a place where you can retreat, all right, without breaking too much cover. In other words, without putting yourself in harm's way or putting yourself between the threat and other people, okay, and making sure that you have a strategy should something go wrong, okay. It's also as simple as if you're going out, putting yourself in a position that is easy to access the restrooms, for example, and doesn't require that somebody in your family, maybe one of your young kids, when they go to the bathroom, you lose visible sight of them when they go and they return. So that's also part of the OODA loop. Okay, it has a lot of practical applications that are not only linked to criminality or potential violence. So today's lesson, just to summarize, was understanding what is situational awareness, okay? How does it fit within your personal security understanding? And it fits directly into your concept of awareness, okay? What is situational awareness and how does it enhance my capacity to be resilient to my environment regardless of the threats that are in it? Everyone, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time at Human Unabridged. Please don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons, and kids, deal with it. Daddy's still on YouTube.